high block. Lastly, feint punches to the body throughout the fight. This makes your opponent want to counter with uppercuts and waste energy. Also, when you eventually do go to the body with a real punch, they'll think it's just a feint, and they won't bother trying to uppercut you. Tip number 5 is simple but very effective. Go into practice mode and set your computer opponent to strike recording. Then, have them shoot for takedown. Then, start throwing your striking combinations as if it's a real fight, and when they shoot for a takedown, press RT and LT to defend. Even though you know the takedown is coming, it'll still prepare your brain to press these buttons in live action. Moving on, tip number 6. Tip number 6 is to throw your strikes from the proper distance. If you want to be an intelligent striker, then you need to throw your shot from the proper distance. That means you want to land the punch from as far away as possible while still being close enough to generate maximum power. On your screen, you see an example of a jab landing from proper range and from improper range. In a real fight, when your opponent is moving, you're going to want to throw this straight punch right as they close the distance and enter that range. So throwing a strike at the proper distance requires some anticipation on your end. The last tip is without a doubt the most common mistakes that new players make in UFC 4, and it's wasting their stamina. You do not need to attack every second of every fight, but just take a chill pill and focus on picking up your opponent's tendencies. Which combos do they prefer to throw? What's the appropriate counter for that combo? Is there a specific order they keep recycling their combos in? This should be your focus in round 1, not throwing your most powerful shots. As a rule of thumb, you want to throw a maximum of 100 strikes per round, missing on as few of those as possible. If you're exceeding that, you'll likely be tired and gassed out by the middle of the fight. If you want to see a video that shows you how to win the stamina battle literally every time, click the video on your left. Or maybe you want to see my favorite combos to use. If you're struggling to get good at UFC 4, you're going to want to listen closely to these 7 tips. I'm going to show you how to quickly go from a beginner to dominating the competition online. Many of these tips were the same tips I figured out on my own way back in the day. Many of these tips were the same tips I gave myself way back in the day when I first started playing UFC 2, and they helped me get good very quickly. If you like these tips, consider quickly pressing like and subscribe because I put videos out like this every week. Alright, let's get started. Tip number 1 will literally raise your game immensely the second you do it. And that tip is to have 5 combinations that you're comfortable throwing for damage.
go, guys, fight.